Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is episode 247. We are continuing on in small victories because I am eager to proceed with the floral circles. Today's floral circle is going to be colored with the Castle Arts Gold. I did finish coloring just now, as promised. I needed, because I've decided I want to try to color match as best I can, I needed to get the whole image finished. I also don't want to get behind this week. It is a crazy hectic week so far. And so we are going to be moving on to this image with the Castle Arts Gold. I expect a very similar experience to what I had yesterday with the Starjoy Gold. They are both an oil-based pencil. They are both somewhat firm. I know that the Castle Arts Gold are a little bit crumbly, but I'm not sure hardly any of my colors will be crumbly. We will see. So I've done a little bit of mock-up just to get my bearings. I am going to start. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking. Yesterday was such a crazy day that I did quite a bit of talking. What I've done today is I have the pencils in the front closest to me are the Castle Arts Gold, and I left the colors in the back right behind them that are the color matches. And when I'm all done, I will share with you my mock-up that I did, because it'll be interesting to see the matchups, and it'll make it more interesting once I see how the I'm gonna have to get closer. Still having some eye issues, so I'm wearing my reading glasses, and when I wear my reading glasses, it means I have to actually be pretty darn close to the image. So, in general, the full rainbow colored, there's 3 of these flowers. I colored this third one softer, this one a little bit different ratio of the 5 colors, and this was the inspirational color to start it all. So, I am going to have 4 flowers in this scene that I have picked to be the inspiration, and that's the daisy, this one, there's the third, and there's nestled in a 4th one. This is the background color. The background color for today is Terre Verde, and what I found yesterday while coloring with the Starjoy Gold is the tips, though they are a firm, but not my firmest pencil, they worked better by rotating. I didn't want little flat spots. When I was working on these small areas, I found every time I moved an area or I picked up my pencil, I rotated. So that is a tip saver. Get it? Tip saver. A tip to save your tip and keep you from having to sharpen so much that you will eat up your pencil more than you should be or could be if you are interested in saving as much of the pigment as you can. So hopefully, as I make my recommendation, I will remember. I learned, because I got tired of sharpening my pencils, I went, oh, I need to be rotating more. So as you move around from pencil set to pencil set, if you're like me and you like to use them all, you will learn tricks, promptly forget them for that particular set of pencils till you encounter them again, and then you'll go, oh yeah, that's right. So I know that this set of pencils tends to crumble. I even know that this color right here is one that if it's going to crumble, the dark green, the dark blues, the heavily pigmented darks tend to be crumbly. So we'll see if we get any of that in anticipation of crumbling. I couldn't find my big fancy brush, but I went and grabbed, oh, and I just dropped a pencil. So I have this brush, but I have to see if I can easily rescue Terra Verde that just dropped. I will have to come right back. I am back. That was a pain. I am going to pause. All right, I wasn't quite in a comfortable enough position to color through my reading glasses. So this pencil fell underneath Hub's recliner and lodged itself right along the bar all the way underneath. I think it is the most elusive pencil that I've had to find. So some of the color choices should be interesting when I see them all put together. I've done this enough times now that I've accepted that once you get all of the colors working together, the variations disappear. So I am going to do what I did yesterday. I will not be doing every bit of the background. There's a lot smaller, easier sections, so I kind of went through and did this whole area. And I think I'm going to stop now and move on to our main color combo. All right, so with the main color combo, these are a thicker diameter pencil, so when I try to pull them up through the holes that this Lazy Susan has, the fatter pencils don't easily come out, so it takes a bit more work. These have a nice semi-matte. They're not as matte as the Starjoys. Somewhat similar. Actually, the Starjoys have a little bit of a shine. They're a little smoother, and that is what makes these Castle Arts feel a bit different. Again, they have a more matte finish feel to them. I thought it was the other way around until I actually grabbed one of the Starjoys. So these are harder to hold 5 at a time. We've got our 5-color blend. The peach is not as peach. The hot pink, not as hot pink. The purple is like spot on. Yellow is spot on. And then the cadmium yellow, orangish, is not as orange. It's a little more yellow ochre. So we have lemon yellow 5, cadmium yellow 7, pink bloom 186, azalea pink 82, and purple deep 89. So we're gonna do our color combos. This is a more linear type flower. So I did my mock-up very quickly and I used just some loose ovals, kind of like this. But what it did is it made it look more like a rainbow, and I don't want it to look like a rainbow. So be sure when you do these daisy flowers that you do some straight lines following the length of the petal. So that's what I just did there. That was the darkest yellow. Now I'm going to go in with my lightest yellow, and I need to make sure everybody's really sharp because of how thin these petals are. Here's the funny thing. See these little lines? That is this flower, but they don't really line up. I will end up darkening this. I just am coloring those bright yellow to remind me that I need to keep track of them. They are not a background element. Now we have the peach that is not quite as peach. Pink bloom. Again, staying lengthwise. Don't want to do, we're not doing fluffy. We're not doing circular because we've got these very long, thin daisy petals. Moving on, I can't believe that how unsharpened these are. All right, so we've got now the azalea pink. And again, I'm gonna try to make this be linear. I would not mind, see that little bit of white there? That was somewhat strategically done. I'm lining my pink, the darkish colors, into the black line of the petals, which would be the shadow part of the petals. And our last color, let's get the, these are really fat. I didn't realize how thick the diameter was on these. 89 sharpening because of the very delicate petals. This is my largest of these three flowers. I might be able to not spend as much time on the two smaller ones, and I will vary the amount of the colors to make it more interesting. All right, so back to the hot pink. Still leaving a little bit of that white. So I went ahead and rotated to be able to get close enough. So over here is the bottom, this is the top. So that's how I will create my shadows. I just noticed some crumbs that I blew off. Okay. Focal flower number 1. I am going to take this smaller one and start with peach. Going to the pink. I'm going to leave it this way, and the end, the outer edges of the petals, I can go two ways. I can go to the yellow-orange, or I can go to the dark. And I'm not sure what I want to do yet. So I'm just going to leave that one partially finished. I'm going to work on this one. I'm not going to do any of the light yellow. There's so much dark here to fight with. I'm going to go right to the peachy pink. I'm going to skip the hot pink. You see why I have to have the cores really sharp. These are my kind of focal areas. I have decided the 3 other big flowers on this page, these ones that have the fancy stamen dealies, are going to be the blues. This is actually a softer pencil. I'm seeing a lot of like kind of that Prismacolor crayon look that you get initially that needs more work to get it to soften and burnish. Alright, so I'm going to go back to this middle color. Again, focusing on linear, the length of the petals. Alright, so that's a different look. Coming over here to play with this. I actually want this yellow knocked back. It's pretty bright. I'm gonna go have it blend into the peach by blending in the pink. Now I do want to darken up so delicate. And then we are going to move on and okay, let's try to crank out our color array of flowers. So the idea is I work in thirds, groups of 3s, do 3, 3, 3, and then I will end up with some odd numbered leftover flowers. The easiest ones for me to do is the yellows, so I'm just going to pick do some color blocking at this point. I already messed up this one. That's why I'm pausing. You're like, what is she being so quiet for? So for the moment, I'm going to leave those. I'm going to grab the peach. I do know that. That's, I am going to do an adjustment here. I've got my little mock-up, which I will share with you at the end, and it was the wrong direction, and I was trying really hard to interpret it the best I could, and I was not doing so well. Moving on to the brighter pink. The flowers, yesterday's flowers, the 5-petal ones, that I could not remember the name of the flower. I was trying to remember, which is a Hawaiian or Floridian flower that grows on a thick branch, not a lot, it's not bushy or leafy. It's called a plumeria, and they're white and yellow or white and pink. Adding in some secondary little bright colors. This one is interesting. I want to grab this. The yellow, that's the orangey yellow, actually is quite, so it's 7. Cadmium yellow is actually very ochre. You can see by the tip, it is very ochre. So let's see if I can bring out some peach highlights on this flower. Okay. I'm just kind of adding a bunch of different tones. I need to get my dark color. Oh, that's not the dark. The dark is actually over here. It's so hard to hold 5, I didn't even try to hold this 5th one. I am doing small ovals now, curving around the petals. The curve for my darkest color is wherever the dot is. It just helps me not have to think. When I see a dot, it means there's some shadows. I have 2 dots here, 3 dots here. It means both sides will be shadowed, but the one with the 3 dots gets more. And this is sort of a heart-shaped flower. So and then there's no dots on that one. But I am still going to add some shadow there. But very soft. And we have this one, and I hope that I am not getting the knuckle refocus issue. I apologize, you're like right by my nose, so I cannot see what the focus is doing. Alright, so we've got that super dark one. This one I'm leaving uncolored. This one I'm going to make dark. That is a perfect. It's just a little one that's nestled underneath, peeking through. Alright, so this large one is going to be a mix. All of them are mixes, but this one even more so. I really, really love to color flower petals. Okay, I'm gonna go for a little bit of this pink here. This one's softer. Feather light pressure. You can really get a lot of different color variations by varying your pressure. This is medium pressure, staying close to the super dark. This was the really soft color. I'm adding a little bit of shadows. All right. Again, that is my non-committal flower. I haven't done that one yet. I'm going to move on to blue. But I have enough of a base to work with and to see how things are going to work out. Now, the biggest change in the color palette is there was no blue lavender color. So I had to go with cobalt turquoise 48 for the light tone and 92 cornflower blue, which I would have thought would have been the color that I wanted. And it is very different, this light blue, but we're just gonna go for it. I think it'll make it this particular circle just a pop of difference. So I'm kind of excited to see how it looks next to yesterday's Starjoy Gold. All right, so I do have to say, let's talk about the next two circles. So that all 4 sets that are left for the circles, all 4 are over 100, so that's great. Because I want to do color matching. I did not pre-look at my list and determine based on what sets were left to do. I did not use that to determine what my colors were. In hindsight, that would not have been a bad idea, because now we're moving from 2 very similar sets to two completely different sets. So you're going to have 3 different looking circles of flowers. Even if I do my best to color match, they are going to look very different. Let's go over here. And we've got these overlapping petals, I think on every one, not this one is the opposite. So I'm just blocking my shadow lines, and both sides of this petal are in shadow. So the exciting thing is we have my official hardest pencils coming up. I believe that's tomorrow. And that's the Erogeton. This is the first play I will have had with the full set of 100 on anything of significant size or colors. Hub is crashing through the door, working on his project. All right, Hub is working on a ramp for access to the trailer, not for my parents, but for their 95-pound dog. His name is Bubba, and he is not going to be able to get up the 5th wheel steps, and he is too big to be lugged around by humans. So I think that's one of our last projects for the trailer, to get it ready for being lived in again. We've only used it off and on when we've had company. Okay, so those are the darks so far. Now I'm going to go in with this cobalt turquoise, and we will see how these flowers are going to look. I will say the Starjoy Gold really did a nice job on the copy paper. The Castle Arts, nowhere near as vibrant. I'm just so surprised. Like when I did the Holbeins on the copy paper to get my initial color palette, I was so surprised how vivid and how fast it was. So some pencils just have what it takes to work on the crummiest paper, and others are not so forgiving. So we're a little over, we're at 33 minutes, and I have leaves to work on. Last, and then just whatever time we have left, I'll be able to darken and deepen. I haven't done any shadows except the background shadow, the green. All right, so making sure I leave enough white before I dig in. I am very much a build it up, slowly take away the white and more of the white. I love the look of the natural paper white. You can't easily get white pencil over the top to replicate this look that I am going for with this particular paper. Putting white over dark isn't really a thing with even this especially smooth paper. Okay, so that's where we're at. I want to get some green on here and maybe a little shadow. So our 2 greens, we also did not have, oh, this is my shadow green I already used. No good olives. So what we've got for the light color is actually cadmium green pale, but this is apple green to me. And then for the dark color, we don't have green gray. We have cadmium green. It is a decided deep forest green. So the leaves should look different. I hope they're going to actually be brighter. Normally I would not do this way, but I want to give you guys a better idea of what it's going to look like. And the best way to do that is to just do some ovals, get the green, the light green, leave the tips white, and then I'll come back in and do some shadows. I am more fond, for whatever reason, of an olive green versus a bright leaf or this apple green. But there isn't that color in the Castle Arts. No light olive. I'm hoping that I can get this finished. I have already collected up purchases for this month. Of course, not very many, but of course they all have their special tale. I have found a really interesting marketplace to shop at that I was very surprised. I bought something that actually was for coloring. It is not a direct coloring supply, but I will share it with you in that video, which then led to a follow-up purchase. So I've done 2 quick purchases in a row, and I was very pleased. The second item has arrived. I've kind of been waiting for it, and these are all timely. I don't want to wait till the end of the month to unbox these. I don't know how colorists who do these videos can have like a box of pencils, whatever, something like I would just have to rip it open. So I can't wait. I was very busy yesterday, or I would have done that video yesterday. But we weren't even home most of the day, which is highly unusual. Very, very unusual. So I will be sharing those fun purchases, and then I already talked about my Joann's adventure. I haven't been there for years and years. It was almost sad. I don't know if it's just this area or if the scrapbooking, card making box store supplies don't sell as well anymore. Boy, I would collect the coupons. Now, granted, I had a nice income and a nice big house. We have a tiny house now, so I still have to be somewhat reasonable with what I'm going to stock up with. Back in the day, I didn't have to worry about the money aspect nor the storage of things. All right, I have done the greens. That was pretty fast. That was fast. Okay, I've got centers. Let's see if we can get centers. And I might go away. I'm happy with the progress I'm seeing. So you're going to see a bit more of the final look than yesterday's. I was trying to stay moving forward. So these two surprise flowers, I might even leave that one mostly white. I could even leave that one mostly white. We'll see what I end up feeling like doing. Okay, so I have this. This is a brown. It's called, oh, sheesh. Sorry. This is the problem with leaving both of them on the spindle. Right in front of it is this beautiful walnut brown light. that is a deeper, richer color than the tree bark Starjoy Gold. So we're going to get this richer color going. I'm rotated around, so again, the bottom is right here. Some colors of the Starjoy Gold are just really lovely. Like this is beautiful, buttery, soft feeling. Who would think that a rich, lovely brown would feel so good? And it's, I mean, I like all of the colors, but this just feels extraordinarily good. Trying to get some little extra shadows on all of these. Now I'm going to grab the yellow, making sure I grab the correct yellow. Number 5, lemon yellow. Nice. I'm grabbing now the orange, a yellow, which is really an ochre and calls itself canary, right? Canary. Oh no, cadmium yellow. Leaving that middle one alone. These little dots are probably going to be reserved for bling of some variety. I am now grabbing with my spare time. We're at 43 minutes, so I'm going to do a little shadow work. For this one, I want to use the burgundy, the Purple Deep 89. Again, the shadows for me are all on the left, since that's the bottom of the image. This does not quite have the soft, buttery feel of that brown. It's not bad, but not as lovely. I think one of my favorite videos, and I'm not sure, I mean, it's a very subjective thing, but Coloring Bliss did it was like, which colored pencil feels the best? And she had a blindfold on and had all of her pencils out. But within a set of pencils, I feel a difference. And so, like I said, subjective, I don't know how well it would work. But I love the idea of it. Now, I would not mind a super dark green. I have not brightened up the next layer on all of these flowers. I just like blocked them in. So when you see this next, it will be all finished and all of the colors will be deepened. All of the greens, shadow areas will be finished. But I'm trying to give you guys the best idea of how I'm working this without going way over. All right, yeah, so that's looking really good. Lovely pencils, very similar to the Starjoy Gold. Some of the colors are different, as I showed you, the blue, purple. Now, before I go, I promised I would show you two things. Let's do a quick spot check to the original. I just really think shadows make such a difference on a picture. Okay, I have to stop because I'm at 46 minutes. Done. Okay, so blocked in, somewhat rough. I am going to rotate so you can see both. We'll even move out a little bit. Okay, maybe that's as far out as it can go. So here they are. Rough needs some pops of color, and the shadows finished. Shadows are finished, colors are vibrant, and that's how they're looking. But still very nice, similar palettes. I can't wait to show you what it looks like finished tomorrow. And then before I go, let's look at my mock-up. Here are my colors. The only colors that I showed you that were different, sorry I just bumped the camera. I had to pick a different yellow. That one didn't work. Here's that blue that is sky blue versus like lavender blue. Purple's dead on. This is the cadmium orange. It's a little duskier, more tan than this mango color. This pink, very much softer than that color. Very close, very close. You might not be able to see it, but that's a bluer green. That's the this is the Starjoy, and this is the Castle Arts. And this brown is richer. This green is brighter. That green is brighter. That's the gray green. That's a lovely color. And then that's bluer. And here's my mock-up between the two. Look how beautiful the Starjoy Gold did on this paper. And I did not spend, the same thing with the Holbein, I did not spend a ton of time. I just blocked everything in, and then here is the much softer look that when I blocked in. Now, I did block this in very quickly, even faster than this one. But still, definitely the Starjoy Gold, they do really good with copy paper. So if you need a copy paper pencil for under $25 with a case, Starjoy Gold is a really good choice. All right, tomorrow it will be the Erogeton 100s. I'm so excited to play with them. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And I will see you all tomorrow. You might see me for a haul video. That's what I'm going to be working on next. It'll either be republished today or tomorrow. I hope to see you there.